and our windows have never been
Honey, leave
dirtier.
comedy to the non-professionals.
Okay.
We're doing art here, and we're respecting.
We're professionals.
We are?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. I knew I was a pro at drinking.
You're a pro at a lot of things.
Yep. Welcome to another episode of Big and Stupid Game Reviews. I'm Stupid Jay.
Big Mike. Today we're going to be reviewing Batman Arkham City.
We sure are.
So, what did you think about Batman Arkham City?
Well, I think it's a sequel, and I sure do love when games are sequels. But, as Arkham City goes, wow, you better take over right now.
Okay, well, we'll start off with the things that we like about the game. What I liked about it was I love the original. Basically, the sequel is not that much different than the original, which is a good thing. They opened up the asylum into a whole city. Now there's side missions, which I love. The upgrade system, better. You start off with all the gadgets that you ended the last game with, so you start off more powerful than you probably should start off as. But then again, you're the goddamn Batman.
No, it makes perfect sense. If you're going to go into an extremely hostile area, you would expect you're going to bring in your best and biggest gadgets. You're not going to... that was something that did bother me from the first game is, oh, I'm going to escort the Joker, and he automatically said, oh, I know there's something up. I caught him too easily. But I left all my gadgets at home just in case, which made no sense. Well, but this one, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
A lot of great characters, tons of great voice acting. Everything looks fantastic, and controls for the most part are good. There are some control issues I don't like, but we'll get to that part.
Okay.
Then.
Yeah, even Nolan North did a good job.
Nolan North was amazing in this as the Penguin.
And I usually hate him.
Well, and you should normally hate the Penguin as he's a lame-ass character, but in this he's a bloodthirsty monster. He's fantastic. He's great.
Pretty good.
But story, really good. Good twists and turns. An ending you won't fucking believe. Boss fights are killer. I mean, some of the better boss fights when it comes to an action game.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Much better boss fights than the first game, which all the boss fights in the first game were wait till the big guy attacks, throw a batarang at him, let him hit a wall, and then
dive
beat him
somewhere
up.
in the middle of all that.
So that was they really switch it up.
Yeah.
Especially the Mr. Freeze fight and the Clayface fights were two of the best boss fights in any game I've ever played.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic. They're really good. Clayface, I got really frustrated, really, especially the second half of that fight. But then when I was done playing it, I realized then, I'm like, no, that was good. But I was getting my ass kicked, and you're like, oh, motherfucker. But then when you look back, you're like, no, that was good. That was the way it really should have been.
Yes.
So, anything else you loved about it? Because I sure as hell can't think of anything.
Well, I guess loving the game would be enough. Yeah. I mean, it's Batman. And it's actually Batman. Great going from the combat, which is the best combat system out of any game ever, period. No arguments out of any game. Don't argue with me, Internet.
The Internet's always starting to shit with you.
And then the stealth, you know, you go to the stealth, you go to the fighting, you go to the detective. It's almost like you're actually Batman. The things that I didn't like, very minuscule things.
Don't worry, I'll catch you up.
There's three of them. For some reason, hitting the button to have to run drives me insane.
There reason for that? You just don't like.
No, I just, you know, any other game, you hit the stick forward a little bit, you walk. You hit it all the way, and you run. That's the way it works.
Okay.
Hitting the button is PlayStation 2 shit to run. That's stupid. The other thing is, I play a lot of stealth games, so what I'm used to in a game is, if you're not making noise, they can't hear you. In this one, you're Batman, you're shooting off your gun thing, it clanks onto the thing, and you swoosh, and there's like explosions going on, and they're like, oh, we lost him! We don't know where he is! We can't hear that clanking and swishing and swoosh and yeah. And when you're Catwoman and you jump up on the thing and you hear the clang and you're right above them, and they're like, yeah. and they're like, "Oh, we don't know where she is." That drives me crazy. The other thing is, I noticed it less towards the end of the game, more towards the beginning of the game. When Batman's talking to Alfred, he's explaining every little thing he's going to do, like he's a 5-year-old, and then Alfred's talking back to him like he's a disapproving father. It's just not the right...
I think they probably just did that to...
No, I know why they did it. It just seems weird.
Yeah, he's Batman. He's done it for a while.
Yeah, he doesn't have to tell Alfred what he
No, that was a couple of the other things I didn't like. It wasn't the game, the actual story mode, where he's just like, oh, I have to go and do this. And Alfred's like, I think you know the better decision to make.
Yeah.
He's like, you're right.
Yeah.
Why would he say that? He's Batman. No one's more moral than Batman in the entire damn series. And every DC character they made, no one's more of a saint. I mean, he's Batman. That's what he does. And to get advice from, an 80-year-old man who serves him coffee, this doesn't seem to really make sense to me. That's like me going to Starbucks and saying, there's a crime happening, Alfred. What do I do? Doesn't really make sense. It's pretty obvious I should get a cup of coffee and ignore it.
Yeah, well, you're not Batman.
I'm pretty close.
Not even close. Not even a little.
I need some more of this, and I might prove you wrong.
By jumping off the roof or
Well,
something?
I can easily go out that window quite quickly. But let's stick to the game.
Yes, let's talk about the game.
Combat, good for the most part.
Great
Found
as anything
I found
ever
more
in video
problems
games.
with Catwoman than Batman. But there's many times where during the fight sequences I'm punching in a different direction, not even at enemies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just shadowboxing, and they're shooting me from behind, stabbing me, and whatnot. That is one thing I did like that I just remember now, though, is I do love how Batman and Catwoman have their own separate fighting style. That is pretty cool. But it does bother me how so many people can get guns in the middle of this prison area. Like, everyone has a machine gun. It's kind of ridiculous.
So what you're saying is you weren't paying attention to the story because they explained how everybody
Yes, it's still stupid. Still dumb. When you're surrounded by 10 guys, I really don't need... That's already a challenge. I think a guy with a machine gun, or 2 guys with a machine gun, or more, and a guy with a knife, and a guy with a shield, and a guy with a shock baton. More than enough challenge. Really don't need the machine gun.
Well, if you were more Batman, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Probably, but I'm not Batman.
You're not.
So, but that's the other problem. Another problem with controls was I had a problem. Still have a problem. I cannot do the dodge move with the knife.
I couldn't do that either.
It doesn't work.
Yeah,
I just can't get that control scheme to work whatsoever.
Yeah.
A lot of the other control schemes, which are using gadgets in the middle of fighting, which are quick use, but it's like XX for this, trigger X for that, trigger Y down, up, left, purple polka dot button for that. It's quite a lot of it when there's so many different types, I can't remember them all, and sometimes I'm trying to do them, and that's when I get my ass kicked. And I find it's easier to just use X and Y, fight, and counter, and just take the extra time instead of doing that, instead of throwing freeze grenades and using the grappling hook and using all that. It's a lot to remember.
You mean square and triangle?
I don't know. I play Xbox, which is the superior system, so I'm not sure. But when it comes down to it, another problem that I also didn't like with controls, I can't remember right now. God damn it.
Maybe if you didn't drink so much.
Probably. Oh, but another times with the stealth that you had also mentioned that you really enjoyed was there were times where I'm on top of a building and I'm surveying the area, and a guy 2 buildings over is like, "There's Batman!" Or I'm Catwoman. The scene where you go after Two-Face for your loot. You were right. They don't notice any of the sounds I make. None. And I'm up above the guy, and the guy will walk underneath me. "There's Catwoman!" And I wasn't even making, unless the sound is what throws them off. If I was running, making lots of noise, maybe then they would have not noticed me. But it seems they're really perceptive. And I played it on casual. I didn't even play it on normal at that time. You know me, I like to play it on easy because I like to experience the game before I really challenge myself. Yeah. I just want to experience the story.
No, I like to play it on normal because I'm not a lady.
Well, I don't know. I wish I had a great rebuttal for that. But yeah, it seemed a lot more. I don't know. I like the game. The game's great. Characters are great. Lots of villains, more than I ever expected. Let's talk about side missions. Can we talk about that? Of course we can, because I'm going to tell you to. The side missions are great and awful all at the same time. Agree or disagree? Don't care. So when it comes to these, when it comes to a lot of these, I'll start one and I can't finish it literally because I don't have any direction. There's nothing on my HUD. There's nothing on my map. There's no other extra clues. There were some where it's like follow this blood trail. I follow it. I find a pool of blood. He's like, great. This is where something happened, and that's literally the end. And I never finished that off. Zaz took me. I had to beat the game and still play it to get to that. Bane, same way. Deadshot, same way. The Riddler trophy, no, the Riddler torture rooms, I started during game progress and I'm still doing them after. So they're all over the place, and I don't have direction, and that really bothers me in this game, and how, because there's so much to do. And I know, for example, I know for a fact Killer Croc is in the game, but I've never even found him.
No, I didn't find him yet.
And I know for a fact he's there. I've seen the videos, I've talked to people who've actually found him, but I had no way to do it, or even find him, because again, I have very little direction in the game. I don't expect the game to hold me by the hand, but I expect it to give me, you know, a whisper in my ear about saying, go check this area, go check that out, use detective vision here, or whatnot.
That's valid.
Okay.
So what do you like as far as a recommendation?
I bought it new. I'm glad I bought it new. I mean, I love the game. I put a lot of hours into it. Replay value is good if you like doing the side missions and you like to explore and you like to find stuff. Cool. If you're not into that, if you just want to go and you want to do just straight up combat, go through the story, experience it, and be done with it, then you might want to wait.
Yeah, it's still, what? I don't know how long it took you to beat it, but...
A couple days.
Yeah, I wasn't...
Probably 2-3 days.
Probably 15 hours or so, and I barely did any
Well,
side missions during the thing.
Yeah, I opened up quite a few. But again, with little direction, I've become frustrated personally, and I find it hard to replay it again.
No.
And another thing, real quick, so everyone knows, is you really should play this game on normal. Even though I enjoy playing it on easy, is one of the locked modes is to, if you want to replay it, Game Plus mode, and play it with any lockable characters, you have to beat it on normal, which is something that doesn't even tell you on the main menu. All it says on the main menu is this is locked until you beat it on normal, and it doesn't tell you that's Game Plus. If I knew that was Game Plus, probably would have played it on normal. That's just to help everybody out. So do yourself a favor, play it on normal.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to play as Batman Beyond, the Frank Miller style Batman, or any of the other Batman characters you want to try out.
Well, when every complaint that either of us had about this game are so small and trivial, I would say just get the game. Just buy it. Plus, if you get it new, you get the Catwoman stuff. You don't have to pay $10.
And the Catwoman stuff is worth it. It's really fun. She plays well on her own, and her stuff's a little bit more stealth, I feel. And I really liked it. And quite honestly, if Rocksteady decided to stop doing Batman and would do a full Catwoman game, I would totally be on it. Absolutely. I really like the Catwoman segments. I hope there's more DLC Catwoman style stuff. Her stuff was very cool.
So get the game and play it, and you'll like it.
Awesome. See you next week.
That's it.
Ooh, God.